G major. Second finger, second fret, fifth string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third finger, third fret, sixth string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fourth finger, staying in the third fret on the first string. We're playing all 6 strings. G major. Now, whenever you play a chord where some of the strings are being played open, where you're not pressing down on any fret, in this case the second, third, and fourth strings, you'll hear the term open position. So this is our G major chord, open chord position. Now, if you find that you're getting trouble to hear the individual notes cleanly, particularly the bass notes up here, it's sometimes because your fingers might be too flat because they have to stretch all the way to the top of the fretboard here. To remedy that, what you want to do is elevate the neck of your guitar so that your wrist can turn inward more easily to get that curve that you need, so that your fingers are not pressing flat on the strings, muting the sound. Right? Remember, as I said in the intro video to this playlist, I only have my guitar horizontal like this so that it lines up visually with the diagrams for you. But you want to elevate yours slightly to be able to get that nice full sound of all the individual strings. Alright, now let's take a look at some of the other variations of G major that you'll come across. Okay, in this variation, we're playing the same notes as before, but we're just using different fingers. Instead of the second, third, and fourth fingers, we're using our first, second, and third finger. It's the same positions, just different fingers, right? Still second fret, fifth string, third fret, sixth string, and third fret, first string. This variation is a helpful alternative because sometimes beginners have difficulty with the previous positioning, particularly with placing their fourth finger on the first string. And that's primarily because we don't have as much flexibility or strength in our fourth finger or pinky finger because it's not used as prominently or frequently as our other fingers. But that's actually one of the reasons I prefer for you to learn with this variation, because it compels you to start developing the strength and flexibility in your pinky finger or your fourth finger that becomes increasingly involved as you progress and learn more. You start using your pinky or fourth finger much more frequently as time goes on. And the second reason is because it's super easy to change from the G chord to the C chord by keeping the shape of these two fingers the same and just bringing them down one string each, right? And that specific transition from G to C is important for us on this channel because that's part of the first chord progression we'll be learning that allows us to play multiple songs, our G, C, D, C progression, G, C, D, C progression that we talked a bit about in the beginner quick course playlist. Now let's look a bit more at two more simplified variations, and the last one is the super easiest where we're just using one finger only. Okay, first, this is our standard bar chord variation of G. Right? But this is our simplified variation with our first, second, and third fingers on the third, fourth, and fifth frets on the second, third, and fourth strings. And we're playing just those three strings. and we use this actual variation in our first song lesson in the Easy Songs playlist, where we also demonstrated that this is a movable shape, that you can move to each of these 12 frets, and that's 12 different major chords. You can see more info about that in the very first song lesson tutorial in that Easy Songs playlist. Okay, this is our simplified bar chord variation for G. Okay, now second, this is the one that my friend insisted that she wants to know, which is the super easy variation of G, which is a one finger chord variation. And by playing the G note right here on the 3rd fret 1st string, and these 4 strings, first 4 strings, this is also our G chord. Technically, a chord is always a minimum of at least 3 notes. So right here, we have these 4 notes. This is just a simplified variation of our standard variation that we looked at earlier. We're just excluding the bass notes on the 5th and 6th string and just playing the first 4 strings. Okay? Now, technically, you could use any finger here, your 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, but I would recommend the 3rd finger just to get used to it being in this position on the 3rd fret, because it ends up here often when you play other chords like C, D, F, and, well, obviously G, right? Now, this variation again, remember, is just a really super simple variation just to help you get started playing. But you definitely want to be working toward playing this standard G variation. G major, open position. If you feel any vibes, generally like and subscribe. Leave a comment, ring the bell for the most vibes. Forward ever, backward never. Blessings and respect. I'll see you in the next video.